Well, the question is how well, I guess straight away, how well Gutknecht is going to cope with the southpaw style of Braehmer. And he's started fast, Gutknecht, trying to put the heat on him right from word go. You see that Braehmer with that height advantage, that reach advantage, he'll just feel Gutknecht out, but trust me, 30 wins by knockout in 38 victories tells its own story. Braehmer can be a heavy-handed fighter. Been a pro since 1999.
Yeah, but Gutknecht already being slightly more positive than I thought he would be. Caught Braehmer with the right hand just then before the clinch.
Right, stop it! Right, told you, box.
Left hand of Braehmer's can be a dangerous weapon. But are his best days behind him? A couple of fights last year, had a 4-round stoppage win over the Spanish champion Jose Maria Guerrero, and then in April had a points win over a Namibian. That terrific amateur record, claims 95 wins in 100 fights. That's no knockdown. And Terry O'Connor's going to have to get a grip of this, because Gutknecht, the tactics are clear. He's going out there. Yeah, he's got to have a word, hasn't he? It's all very well holding a glove out, but it seems to be a premeditated instruction and tactic to get out there and rough him up and show him that you're not just a fancy down.
But he knows that Braehmer's also a volatile character, trying to get it in his head, because he is also a very good boxer, is Braehmer, so trying to get in his head, ruffle him up.
Nice right hand from Gutknecht. Well, I'm surprised at just how aggressively Gutknecht has started this fight. They've thought about it, as you say, Barry, and it's clearly a premeditated intention to get in there and impose yourself from word go.
Yeah, they want to stifle the work, don't they, of Braehmer, and so far they've been relatively successful in doing so. But you always have to have respect for Braehmer's powers, particularly in that left hand. And you might walk onto something, so he has to be aggressive and be smart with it.
I've not seen the Braehmer big left hand so far, have we? Gutknecht getting in there again, roughing him up, the heads clashed. See, Braehmer was pouring anxiously at his brow. He was worried that there might have been a cut there. There's the body shot from Braehmer. And again.
Good uppercut there, headshot that time.
Interesting opening round, this one, Barry. It's got the makings. Oh, good shot. Gutknecht, good right hand. And that's a good opening round to the champion.
Yeah, good round for Gutknecht, very positive. I thought he would have been a little bit tentative in that round, looking for opening, seeing what Braehmer had to offer, but he went straight out on the offensive, put pressure on Braehmer, tried to stifle his work, and had a good round in doing so.
Yeah, it was an impressive start. Quickly out of the blocks. Not letting Braehmer settle into any sort of rhythm. A coach who will take no nonsense. That's the best moment that Braehmer had.
Yeah, that was halfway through the round, wasn't he? Landed with a straight 1-2, but apart from that, and maybe a left uppercut, I think all the real decent shots were landed by Gutknecht.
Opening round then clearly to the champion in the black shorts, Eduard Gutknecht. Solid body shot from Braehmer. Oh, and another.
Lovely left hand there from Braehmer. And he's got that little bouncy style, hasn't he? You know, bouncing back and forth, a little bit like Ricky Burns does, you know, so you can't set yourself against a fighter like that.
If he gets into a rhythm, Gutknecht's in trouble. Oh, good work from Gutknecht again. bossing the fight in close and trying to turn it into a brawl.
He wants to use his physical strength, doesn't he? And he is so far, I think. It's a great effect, just spinning Braehmer on the ropes.
Impressive opening for Gutknecht, but the question is, will he be able to sustain it? Braehmer just starting to pick him off a little bit more with that right-hand jab, which is a decent weapon.
Well, Braehmer wants to slow the pace, doesn't he? He wants to using his footwork just to keep Gutknecht from mounting those attacks so he can keep the pace nice and slow and land with his technically better punches. And to be fair, with the southpaw and orthodox fighter, their feet are going to get tangled up quite a lot.
Braehmer has got his own blue t-shirted army of supporters up in the bleachers, but the bulk of the crowd very much behind Gutknecht.
Good left hand there from Braehmer, right on the pipe.
It's got the makings, this one, Barry.
Yeah, it's a good fight so far, isn't it? Technically quite good as well.
That's good from Braehmer. Those are his fans standing, chanting at the back of the arena. Sometimes the atmosphere in German fights can be distinctly soporific, but there's a committed partisan sort of atmosphere here.
A bit of work there by Braehmer, just jabbing and spinning off.
Much better round this for Braehmer.
Yeah, he's boxed well, hasn't he? Been allowed, but he's made it from long range. Kept Gutknecht on the end of the shots.
Well, Gutknecht showed the urgency in the first round, and I think it surprised Braehmer, but Braehmer has settled down very much more into this fight here in the second.
Yeah, that's a good solid round there for Braehmer.
Those are the Braehmer fans you saw there. And they'll feel a little bit happier about things now. Carsten Rover is the trainer of Juergen Braehmer, who for many years was with Michael Timm, the old University trainer.
Yeah, Braehmer, most importantly for Braehmer, he had his foot on the outside most of the time, though just hangs with a nice 1-2 with his foot on the inside, but he had the territorial advantage with his feet, and that's why Gutknecht couldn't really get him close, get close to him, couldn't get him on the ropes or in the corners, because he was always turning to face the opponent.
Arthur Abraham on the left-hand side of your picture, with tonight's promoter, Mr. Sauerland. It's a 12-rounder for the European light heavyweight title. Here we go into the third. Juergen Braehmer on the right-hand side of your picture, the southpaw. Oh, good work. Braehmer not happy.
No, not at all.
You said earlier on, Barry, Juergen Braehmer facially, 10% Matt Dawson.
Yeah, he looks a bit like Matt Dawson, doesn't he?
Not sure Matt would like it, but I kind of see where you're coming from. That's good.
Beautiful work. And a good response as well from Gutknecht. A lovely combination there from Braehmer.
Terry O'Connor trying to keep things going.
Good right hand there from Gutknecht.
That's a One which landed pretty flush as well.
They just caught Braehmer square on, didn't he? Squared his feet up on the ropes and paid the price.
Gutknecht not throwing the volume of punches that he was in the opening minute or two.
He's looking to get closer, isn't he? But he's just walking onto Braehmer and taking too many shots. Just needs to keep his foot on the outside and keep dipping his knees, rolling his shoulders when he's moving forward.
Braehmer very much the more mobile. He's the man with the better footwork. Physical strength advantage may lie with Gutknecht. And he is the younger man as well. Possibly the fresher of the fighters. Although Braehmer's looking very much up for it, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And at the moment, Braehmer's got a nice little rhythm going, and they're boxing at his pace, aren't they, at the moment?
Yep. Well, we said that in the early stages, didn't we? You know, Gutknecht lets Braehmer get into his rhythm and fight his fight, which he has done pretty much for the last couple of rounds. Then Braehmer's going to be in his comfort zone. Good body shots. Rounds gone. We've got it 2-1 to the challenger, Juergen Braehmer. A little bit more urgency and a little bit more anxiety in the voice of Ole Wegner than sometimes.
Yeah, well, it was always a feeling that Gutknecht had to put a lot of pressure on Braehmer and maybe forego at the earlier rounds. But he just needs a little bit more head movement going forward, a little bit more educated pressure. Or what he did in the first round, just totally rush Braehmer and make it more of a gunslinging wild affair.
Juergen Braehmer recently became a dad. Baby daughter Jasmine with his girlfriend Tatiana, and he says that he has got plenty of motivation to get back to the glory days, and he put his punches together well there.
And that's exactly what he does, doesn't he? He put the punches in combination together, lovely.
He's got a silky style, and Gutknecht, who looks a little bit pedestrian by comparison, has got to get into range and find a way to maybe take advantage with his greater power.
Well, Gutknecht gets the warning off the referee there, but for me, I think Braehmer was the fault. He went low, grabbed the waist of Gutknecht. Oh, lovely work there, finishing with a body shot as well.
The crowds are roaring on Gutknecht, but Braehmer is putting his punches together well. Crowd firmly behind the champion, but Braehmer showing signs that he's clearly the superior boxer.
And again, they're just hooking off the jab, Braehmer. Gutknecht just needs to take his left foot on the outside, doesn't he? Just needs to move to his left.
Oh, great roar of response there, but most of those punches from Gutknecht were being taken on gloves and arms. That's a lovely jab, cracking shot.
Solid punch, isn't it?
Now he catches Braehmer a little bit off balance and trying to get into range to land the big right hand. Is there a cut in there?
Looks like a cut on Braehmer's right eye.
There was the clash of heads early on, and there was a reddening around that right eye of Braehmer. But if there is a cut here as early as this, and there's blood there.
But again, a lovely combination there from Braehmer.
Well, is that going to be a factor? Looks as though it's in the corner of the eye. Terry O'Connor having a good look at it, seeing what the damage is, but there's going to be work for the Braehmer corner as they go back now at the end of the round. And it's been a good round for Braehmer, the injury apart.
Yeah, another good round there for Braehmer. Gutknecht had his successes in that round, but Braehmer dominated that again with his jab combinations.
Now let's have a close look at this. Let's see if we can see what this injury actually entails here.
Ja, locker bleiben und in der Verteidigung bewegen, die Hände oben lassen.
Did you see whether it was a punch or a clash of heads that did it, Barry?
I didn't see it, but I would... Gutknecht did down with a nice little right hand, well, a solid right hand, so maybe that was enough to cause the cut, but I didn't really see it at any particular moment.
He has got those sort of raw boned features, hasn't he, Braehmer? Well, there's punches going in there. Is the cut there then?
It might have been that left hook just before that combination.
I'm not sure they've got the right moment there. I'm not convinced that's where it happened. Well, I can think of a few referees who might ask for a little bit of that grease to be taken away, and I think we might see that Terry O'Connor's going to be one of them. Let's see.
Yeah, you would... Yes.
Oh no, he's letting it go on. Well, you've got it 3 rounds to 1 in Braehmer's favour here, Barry, and I certainly wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think Gutknecht's had some successes in the rounds, but just not enough for me.
Oh, lovely shot, that's quality.
That's a lead uppercut inside the jab. That's a really difficult punch to throw.
And again, lovely combination from Braehmer. And now back comes Gutknecht.
You can see why Braehmer was a top amateur, can't you? Because he's so accurate and technically very, very smooth.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. The 3-round format and fighting at range, picking your man off with that quality jab and able to throw single shots and get away. I mean, he is absolutely made for the amateur game.
Most definitely, really is. Oh, beautiful jab.
Blood's now seeping from the injured eye, though, once more. And we're only in the 5th round.
Yeah, it's a worrying sign, isn't it? But apart from that, he's boxing really well. Look at that, 1-2, and it's making Gutknecht miss.
Complaining that Gutknecht is trying to use his head. No knockdown, says the referee. That's a stumble again, is it? Yep.
Must be something wrong with his boots, he can't stay on his feet.
Gutknecht looking across and laughing at him. And he thinks that maybe he's got his man going. And he's really trying to tee off now here in this 5th round. Back comes Braehmer. What a round.
Oh, cracking.
Tremendous stuff from both men. Solid body shot from Gutknecht this time. Well, alongside the 2 knockdowns, or not knockdowns, stumbles, pushes, call them what you will, this has been a very, very high-quality round. There's some terrific boxing there.
Great work there by both fighters. Again, another Braehmer round for me. Good stuff, right? Good quality work, both fast, heavy shots.
This is where a cornerman earns his corn. Now, is it the eyelid, in which case that is altogether more serious? I suggested earlier on that I thought it was in the nick of the eye, but I think it might be the right eyelid which is cut. Gashed.
How happy is he?
He's a star in the corner, isn't he?
Oh, definitely.
You don't argue with him.
No. Well, he obviously feels that Gutknecht can put more pressure on Braehmer, maybe, you know, not letting his hands go enough.
Well, on your card, Barry, Braehmer is in control of this fight. At this stage, 5 rounds gone, and you've got him with a 4-round advantage.
Yeah, I think he's won the last 4 rounds, most definitely, John.
That last round, certainly Gutknecht had his moments. And no doubt the Gutknecht fans will think that their man maybe did enough to win that last round. The referee just trying to keep the heads out of the equation. Watch the heads. You can hear Terry O'Connor shouting, and there's a lot of bumping and boring going on there. Gutknecht, I think, is the man who's going in there looking to really rough Braehmer up. And there's another cut, this time on the forehead of Braehmer, I think. Maybe just a smear of blood, I'm not sure.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? That eye's looking worse for wear now. It really is punch for punch stuff, isn't it?
Juergen, Juergen is the chant from the Braehmer fans, and they feel their man is getting on top. What a good fight.
Oh, great stuff.
Terry O'Connor's done a pretty good job as well at this stage of letting the action flow.
Oh, good right hand there from Gutknecht.
And then back comes Braehmer. It's that sort of fight.
It really is.
Well, European title at stake. I'd be prepared to bet a significant amount of money that one Nathan Cleverley will be watching right now and thinking, well, whoever comes in out of these two, I can take care of. But he'll also recognise that it is a finely balanced fight. And that cut of Braehmer's is going to be a factor, and perhaps more of a factor, the further this fight goes. Not yet at the halfway stage.
Yeah, it's looking nasty in the corner. Have to do some tremendous work to stop the flow of blood. But again, another very hard round to score, isn't it? It's really who has the better. Maybe for me, I just think Braehmer's punches are more standout.
But Gutknecht has kept the pressure on, and he's had his moments. The last round was close, and this is another one, which I think you could look at it either way. Gutknecht is seen as the aggressor. He's the man on the front foot. Swedish judge, Polish judge and the Spanish judge watching the action here, which is fast and furious, right up to the bell to end another really dramatic round.
Brilliant stuff. And you know what? I just changed my mind at the last minute and give that round to Gutknecht.
Well, I thought that 5th round was close, and if it's gone the other way, then it would be level. You've got it 4-2 for Braehmer. It's that sort of a fight. There's Braehmer. You can see the intensity and the desire. And then back came Gutknecht.
I just think, you know, most of the time when they have let their punches go and they're both having equal success, Braehmer's punches are just the clearer shots. Rocking the head back of Gutknecht.
Yeah, you can see the quality in his work, can't you? That's certainly, he's got that fantastic amateur pedigree, and he is a very, very good technician.
Very accurate, isn't he? And he punches through the target. That's a well-schooled boxer.
Into the second half of the fight. European light heavyweight title at stake. Beautiful work from Braehmer. A shake of the head from Gutknecht, but he knows that he pierced his guard with those, and a lovely body shot as well. Cracking start to the round from the challenger, Juergen Braehmer.
We have to give Gutknecht a little bit of praise there, because he took a decent left, well, a cracking left hand, didn't he? But he took it well, with no complaints. He has a good chin. He needs to move his head more. Just standing there hoping he can counter. Braehmer's not going to work for him.
Lovely jab from Braehmer. The smile from Gutknecht, as much as to say, well, it's not done anything to me. That's all very well, but it landed flush and it knocked back his head. Those handsome features, though, not too much ruffled so far. Gutknecht is not marked up in marked comparison to Braehmer.
No, and he's telegraphing our right hand, isn't he, now? And Braehmer just keeping his hands up nice and high, blocking it with the gloves.
Animated advice coming from the Gutknecht corner. That's where you're watching from with that camera angle.
But he needs to get close, doesn't he, Gutknecht? He's not going to win this fight from long range. And that's the reason why. This is where he needs to let his hands go, John.
Braehmer doing a pretty good job of tying him up there in close. And the older man, the man with 40 fights on his record, Juergen Braehmer, at this stage is the man throwing the more leather. Nice right hand in there from Gutknecht. Needs a good last minute, though, if he's going to take this round.
But look at the reply from Braehmer straight away. Gutknecht needs to move his head. At the moment, he's too much of a stationary target for Braehmer.
It's a tough fight, a grueling fight. Last few seconds now of this 7th round, which for me, Braehmer has dominated for the most part. The champion, Gutknecht, is not letting enough punches go, looking for that big right hand and can't find the clean contact. Good round for Braehmer.
Eddie, jetzt musst du kämpfen, mein Junge. Du darfst nicht vor ihm stehen, du musst hauen!
Is he getting a bit too predictable in looking for that huge right hand?
Yeah, he's loading up, isn't he, a little bit? You know, he's had a little bit of success with it, but he's loading up too much, and Braehmer too clever to fall into that trap. He needs to keep plenty mobile, moving his head going forward, trying to change the angle. This Gutknecht, if he wants to unload the shots on Braehmer, but he needs to get close.
Braehmer's been around forever. Gutknecht has studied him over the years. He said this week in the pre-fight press conferences, I've wanted this for many years. I know everything he can do, and I've got what it takes to beat him. Well, at this stage on our card, the challenger, almost seems funny to say that, doesn't it? The challenger, Juergen Braehmer, he is the man for us who is winning this fight.
Yeah, I got him quite a fair distance up now, haven't I? Even though it's a very close fight. I think on my card he's a few rounds up.
You've got him 5 rounds to 2, Barry.
Yeah. Just think the cleaner punches, the cleaner work.
I think a couple of those have been close.
Oh,
so if it was,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it could certainly be closer. But I don't think you can make much of an argument that Gutknecht would be ahead.
And it's from this range. Just Braehmer getting through with those right-left combinations, just too frequent. And they're the punches that stand out.
Gutknecht is just beginning to look a little bit disheartened for me. I don't think there's quite the belief in him. He's having to eat so many of these southpaw jabs from Braehmer. He's putting his punches together really well. He needs a moment of success. He needs a big spell in this fight now to impose himself once more.
Yeah, I think Gutknecht needs to get a little bit of bounce in his step, doesn't he? On the balls of his feet, a little bit of energy in his work. Just roll on to Braehmer, but at the moment he's a little bit flat-footed. And you're not going to beat Braehmer to the punch.
It's better. He needs more of that. In with the right hand, and another one, Gutknecht. And another, might just give him a bit more belief. This is what he needs to keep the pressure on now.
Yeah, and good uppercut as well. 3 left hands there from Braehmer.
Yeah, I can hear the admiration in your voice there. There was a little chuckle of the left hand and the right hand getting through with such accuracy.
He really is pinpoint, isn't he? And with that backhand uppercut as well, that left uppercut, he's been very accurate all night with that.
There's a lovely variety about Braehmer's work, isn't there?
He's deceivingly good, isn't he? I mean, no, deceivingly clever, I should say.
Eighth round nearing its conclusion. It's looking as though it's going to be a fight, this one, which goes right down to the wire. It's got distance fight written all over it now. Punches thrown after the bell.
And again, I know I'm a lover of technical stuff, but that was another round for Braehmer for me. Gutknecht had his successes, just not enough.
Done well with the injury.
They have done really well, haven't they?
It's not clever, that.
Yeah. It's in a horrible spot and looks pretty deep as well, doesn't it?
Yep, they've kept him going. They've worked away. Plenty of experience in that corner. No panic. And fair play to Terry O'Connor. He's let them do their work as well, which is always important.
Geh doch mal hin, Mensch! Lass eine Abhebung dann. Epi, los! Epi! Komm her.
He's got a job to do here, Mr. Wegner.
Jetzt musst du ihm zumachen, einengen.
There's Hernandez, who was to have topped the bill tonight. And there's the broken left hand, which he incurred in sparring.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Good fighter, isn't he?
Oh, cracking to watch. Even when he don't box at his best, like he did against Ross. What a fight that was.
A cool Cuban and a very good fighter. We're in the 9th round now.
Yeah, for me, this is where Gutknecht needs to.
Well, he's going to get
to work.
He's going to get the.
Don't let me do that. Otherwise, I'll have to do it. Okay. Okay.
Well, he's told him in no uncertain terms, and Gutknecht understands. Don't make me do it. Carry on, and I'm going to take a point. And if Gutknecht lost a point at this stage, and he's in dangerous territory there, dragging his man down. Now, is he going to get it taken away? Well, that was coming, and I just wonder whether with that, Gutknecht, desperation, and has the fight now drifted away from him. It might be that he's got to knock Braehmer out now.
He was pulling down on his neck, but to be honest, Braehmer didn't put up too much resistance, did he, to be honest, Braehmer?
It's the old pro.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he knew that Terry O'Connor was looking for any sort of infringement, and he made the most of it.
And the problem we have now, though, is Gutknecht might feel that, as I do, that he has a mountain to climb, go for broke and be an easier target to hit.
Well, I think he's got to knock Braehmer out if he's going to win this one now. Unless the judges are seeing a very, very different fight.
As you said, John, some of those earlier rounds were closer than what I gave it, and it would be a closer fight, but you can only have one winner, can't you? However close you have it.
Juergen. That's the chanting you can hear from the Braehmer fans, who might be outnumbered, but they're certainly vociferous. Big effort from Gutknecht in this round.
Good uppercut again there from Braehmer.
Gutknecht has shown he's got a good chin.
Yeah, and a good engine as well, John. He's very tired, but he's throwing lots of shots again. There's not much behind him, John, but he's throwing them all the same.
If Gutknecht were able to pull this out of the fire now, it really would be a win. Tired arms. Got to be aching through the endeavour of nearly 9 rounds completed. Good body shot from Braehmer, and then back comes Gutknecht once more. Just bounced off him. Tribute to the conditioning and the preparations.
Yeah, both fighters very tired.
It's getting ragged in the closing stages of this round. Hard round, but that point deduction could be so important.
Los, jetzt haben wir noch 3 Runden eine Chance. Hör zu, du musst dich da beißen, das ist alles nicht. Ja? Ebbe, du musst dich ja zusammenreißen. Entweder, los, kämpfe doch mal, Junge. Verdammt! Bisschen Luft geben wieder hin. Lass ihn nicht so aussehen. Kämpfe, dass die wissen, dass hier beschissen wird. Aber Ebbe, du musst klare Treffer setzen. Ja? Die müssen klarer sein als seine, ja? Alter, komm mal, Junge.
Ringfrei zur 10.
Zeig Moral, ja? Zeig mal, los. Aber, okay.
He's going to take it on points. Surely Gutknecht has got to win these last 3 rounds. That was the moment at which the point deduction came. That'll be a talking point afterwards. Did Braehmer play for it?
Yeah, he most definitely did, but Gutknecht was pushing it on the back of his neck, so, you know, he was warned, and it's one of those things. I know he has to find some reserves of energy from somewhere now. And he needs a big shot, doesn't he, now, just to really turn the fight or the momentum in his favour.
Tough in there now. These two guys have given their all. Both of them landing simultaneously with heavy shots.
Don't pull down! Right, here we go, split back, don't pull down.
Another warning from the referee to Gutknecht, telling him again, don't pull your man down.
You can see Gutknecht kind of just waiting for Braehmer to throw that backhand so he can unload.
That's the right hand he was looking for, and it landed pretty flush on Braehmer. We've already seen one spectacular knockout tonight. It might be that Gutknecht needs something similar. Landed a really solid right hand there, which set up that attack.
And he asked for that, trying to be tricky, paid the price.
Oh, good work from Gutknecht, though. These are two dog-tired fighters in there now. Who's going to have the engine to keep it going right to the final bell, if indeed it goes that far?
Oh, good combination there from Braehmer, but Gutknecht comes back with his own shots. He's been good in this round, hasn't he, Gutknecht?
Well, both know all about going the championship distance on 6 occasions. Each man has had to go the 12-round distance. And who's the stronger now? Perhaps Gutknecht is getting the better of this round. Big attack from the champion. He's fighting with real pride. Digging so very, very deep, Barry. And pulling his man down again. Now what's going to happen?
Well, that's Braehmer looking for the floor, that is most definitely.
Boos from the crowd. Well, if he got another point taken away, it really would be good night, Vienna. Or Berlin, or whatever.
And I'm glad he didn't. And for me, that was a Gutknecht round. But he had a really good round. He was very tired going back for the 9th round, but he came out there, gritted his teeth, and the volume was just tremendous.
You've got it 7-3 to Braehmer, Barry, but certainly there are a couple of rounds in the mid-stage of this fight which were closer, and you never know, the judges might have seen it the other way, in which case this round, which has clearly gone for Gutknecht, could be very important indeed.
And I tell you something, John, from the back of the arena, this is a different fight altogether.
Kämpfe jetzt! Nimm die Hände zusammen! Kämpfe! Zeige, dass du Moral hast, dass du den Trainer hier enttäuscht jetzt! Wie machst du das jetzt? Here we go!
Moving now into the 11th round. Oh, he's worried about Terry O'Connor possibly taking another point off his man. Gutknecht is certainly walking a fine line. Or is it that Braehmer's playing the game?
Well, it's a little bit of both, isn't it? But Gutknecht needs another big round for me.
Great left hand from Braehmer, but Gutknecht just blinked and walked through it and kept coming forward.
To be fair to Terry O'Connor, he's doing all he can not to give another warning.
I think if he does it again, I think there's going to be a point. And he can't complain, he's had the warnings. Heads going in. Braehmer has fought now for, what, 5 rounds with that injured eye?
Yeah, he's done a great job, haven't he?
Oh, what desire, though, from Gutknecht, the champion. And he looks the stronger man now, a little bit unsteady, Braehmer, as he went across the ring. And Gutknecht thinks he can finish it off here. Well, Wagner on the ring apron, what's all that about?
Well, I think Terry O'Connor stopped the action for no reason at all, almost. Or seemed to almost stop the action.
Oh, good shot from Braehmer. What a top-class fight this has been. Terrific matchup.
And Braehmer started the round off so well, didn't he? Landed with nice straight shots down the pipe. And Gutknecht came back with a spirited attack.
He is physically so strong, Gutknecht. And perhaps the fact that he's the younger man now, he's pulling him down again. He's going to lose a point this time, surely. Well, he's let him off again, and he's a lucky boy.
To be honest, though, Braehmer's going in with the head low as well. But yeah, he's been lucky not to get another point taken away. Great stuff from both fighters.
Yeah, from both sides. Quality combination from Braehmer, and then look at the attempt. Now that surely is not pulling down. That's ducking low.
And again.
Well, you know, Barry, you've been in there. It is an element of Braehmer playing for it.
Oh, he most definitely Braehmer clever. Very clever.
There again, there again.
But for me, even though Braehmer's landed with some clean shots, I just think the output of Gutknecht was enough to give him that round.
Boos and jeers from the crowd who've contributed to this in no small part. It's a feverish atmosphere.
That's fertig. Hau doch mal den linken Handel wieder ein. Los, Eddie, nochmal. Konzentrieren, Junge. Komm, konzentrieren.
So you've now got it 7-4, Braehmer.
Yeah, and I think that round was close, but for me, I just think Gutknecht just threw so many punches. They're two very tired fighters.
I've certainly got it closer than that. I think Gutknecht. And at this stage of the fight as well, I think Gutknecht is the guy with the momentum now. I think Braehmer's trying to fiddle his way up through it now, and he's trying to old man him out of it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, he's looking for that public warning, isn't he, Braehmer? But I think if Braehmer keeps it at long range now, if he can, then he wins the title.
We will see. 12th round, one way or another. This is going to be dramatic. Flurry of punches from Braehmer, and then using his experience to tie Gutknecht up. Quality from both sides. And Braehmer again playing for that one, surely. And Terry O'Connor knows it and tells him.
So does the crowd.
Good shot, good uppercut.
And a lovely backhand again there from Braehmer. Gutknecht he half takes a shot, doesn't he? He really got a real granite chin.
This has been a very good fight, another very good fight from Germany. How many times have we said that since we've been on air, since Box Nation's been in existence? We've had some tremendous action from Germany, and we've got it for you here again tonight.
And that's where Braehmer's most comfortable, when he's on the balls of his feet, allowed to move.
Well, Braehmer stumbling down and saying that he was dragged down, and Terry O'Connor not having it this time, despite the histrionics.
I don't know why Braehmer's looking for the public warning, because he's, you know, in my eyes, he's winning the fight, controlling things when they're at long range. I don't see why he's looking for the...
Well, I think he's tired. I think he's been running on empty for the last 2 or 3 rounds, Juergen Braehmer. He knows it, and I think Gutknecht knows it as well. Now, you can't do that. That is around the back of the head. I think that's frustration and anger from Gutknecht. Braehmer stumbling around, lurching around, looking for that point, and he's not going to get it.
No, and giving this round away because he's looking to mess around.
Oh, this is Gutknecht's round, no question. That is for me, anyway.
Yeah, no, me also. So far, he's doing well.
Last 20 seconds. An untidy last round. Braehmer perhaps just trying to cling on to what he feels that he'd won before. Down he goes again. The Gutknecht fans might think there's an argument for taking a point away from Braehmer.
Well, Gutknecht did throw him through the ropes.
Well, there's the final bell. They think they've got it. That's the Braehmer corner. That's Carsten Rover. Uli Wegner can't believe what's gone on in there. He thinks that his champion maybe has been given the old man treatment, and a little bit of the old pro act from Braehmer has hustled him out of it.
Yeah, he definitely old man him at times, I think. I wasn't happy when he's looking to cheat his way through those last few rounds. Braehmer. Gutknecht did just throw him through the ropes, but also Braehmer ducking low constantly. Got away with it a few times.
Did you give that last round to Gutknecht?
I did, yes.
In which case you've got it Braehmer by a couple.
By a couple of points, yeah. And a good fight.
Good fight. As the European title changed hands, Gutknecht is celebrating. He thinks he's won. Round 5. That's a key round. 5 and 6. They were close. If they've gone to Braehmer, then it could be that the title's changed hands. If they've gone to Gutknecht, it might be that he somehow, despite the point deduction, scraped his way to retaining his title. Good fight, though.
It was, yeah. It all depends what you go for, isn't it? The technically much better boxing from Braehmer, or the physical strength and maybe possible punch output of Gutknecht.
Eddie, those are the Gutknecht fans. The guys in the blue t-shirts, they're the Juergen army. All quite good-spirited banter between them so far. Well, not too many boos for him now. He got a rather hostile reception when he walked in. He may well have a colourful past, but he's shown he's a fighter. Yeah. Although in the last few rounds there was a bit of kidology.
Yeah, there was, but it was a cracking fight, wasn't it? You know, and I think the crowd appreciated what they've seen tonight. And as good as the fight was, you'd fancy Nathan Cleverly with either of these fighters, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I think Nathan would be too quick for either of them. He'd have the speed to cope with a southpaw like Braehmer, I think, and I think Gutknecht, I just don't think he'd be technically good enough to get to Nathan.
Yeah, I'm with you on both points.
Braehmer could give him some anxious moments, I suppose, just because of the style, but yeah, I think Nathan knows enough to get past either of them. So that was, you know, judge this on its merits. That's a European title fight, and that was a very good European title fight.
It was more than just exciting. I think it was technically very, very good. Mainly from Braehmer, but also Gutknecht threw some lovely shots. You know, had some good educated pressure. That fight had a lot of good stuff.
Good television, wasn't it? If you've watched this tonight, you've not been shortchanged.
Well, you used to think back watching German fights back 10, 15 years ago that they were all boring, real technical boxing matches, but now you get a few wars, don't you? And then seems to be the place to go at the moment.
One of those Sven Otka fights, if they'd happened in your back garden, you'd have thought about drawing your curtains, wouldn't you?
I would have been a massive hit in Germany.
Plenty of smiles between the two now, and an anxious wait. Not an easy night for Terry O'Connor. Who's got it? Master of ceremonies, Roman Roll, is poised up there. And in just a moment or two, we will find out if Eduard Gutknecht remains European champion or if the title has changed hands. Here we go.
Hier kommt das offizielle Urteil. Punktrichter Manuel Oliver Palomo aus Palma de Mallorca, Spanien, wertet den Kampf 114 zu 113. Leszek Jankowiak aus Krakau, Polen, wertet den Kampf 116 zu 111. Und Michael Huck aus Göteborg, Schweden, wertet den Kampf 117 zu 110. Alle drei für den einstimmigen Sieger nach Punkten und neuen Europameister im Halbschwergewicht.
Braehmer gets it.
Juergen Braehmer.
7 rounds on one card I thought was a little bit fanciful. 117, 110, 116, 111. That's kind of more towards where we had it. 114, 113. Well, Barry Jones had it by a couple of rounds. That's just by the single point, but the title has changed hands. It's the WBO title eliminator as well, and Juergen Braehmer's sweet boxing skills have overcome the youth, the desire of Eduard Gutknecht. That point deduction played its part, but ultimately was not decisive. We have a new champion.